Hello again everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to another speed build video in The Sims 4. Hope you're all having the most amazing day ever so far and thank you so much for joining me here today. So we are here with our very first festive build of the season. It is the 2nd of December at the time of me recording this voiceover, and I actually wanted to try and get this build up yesterday, but unfortunately I didn't actually get the house finished until today, so that was just never going to be possible. But I'm really excited to share this with you all. We are building in Copperdale, and we are building a 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom family home. It has a separate garage. We have an office and a playroom. There's a laundry room. Like, this house has pretty much everything that I think you and your Sims could possibly want or need from a house. And we are building, I don't know if I've just mentioned that, we're building on the 30 by 30 lot in Copperdale. This is probably one of my favourite lots to build on. I've built here a couple of times at this point and I like everything about it. I like the lighting specifically, but also I like the surrounding landscapes and where the lot's located as well. I just think it's really nice, and especially nice when it's covered in snow. I've said this before and I'll say it again, but themed builds for me, specifically themed builds that sort of centre around a season, are one of my favourite things to build in The Sims. And I always love it when Christmas and the festive season kind of rocks up on us because I do genuinely adore building festive and Christmas builds. I of course adore Halloween. Halloween's my favourite time of year. I really love the spooky and autumnal builds that we do on the channel every year, but there's something really special about winter and it just seems so magical. And I'm just really excited to share this one with you all. We do go through, a few changes, specifically on the exterior, as in not structurally, pretty much the structure is down, and more meaning with the colour scheme. So I was going to go for this really, I don't know, there's nothing wrong with this colour scheme per se, it's just that it wasn't really doing anything for me while I was building it. I don't think it helps that... I know I've just been saying I love when a world is covered in snow and I love building within the winter season in The Sims 4, but I don't think it helps when you're trying to build and conceptualize a house that has really pale colours, especially when you consider that the snow is obviously on the ground, so it doesn't stand out. To me, I think that original colour scheme would have worked a lot better if we weren't building in winter, if that makes sense. So I do switch it up just a little bit. I toy around with various window ideas and you can just see me here. I'm trying out new things. It's been a couple of weeks since I've actually built anything in The Sims, so I was probably feeling a little bit rusty as well, so you'll just have to bear with me, but I am really pleased with how this house came out overall. The interior was a labour of love and I do love how it looks. I think when we get onto the interior, I'll show you specifically some of the rooms that I'm super proud of. And I really love the exterior structure as well. It's a chunky build. I forgot to mention this at the beginning, but we're probably going to be looking at near a 50-minute video in total for this particular house. So I hope you are cozied up with a beverage of your choice, maybe a blanket depending on where you are in the world. I know it's extremely cold in the UK at the moment, so I was building this with my hot water bottle and my blanket. But yeah, I hope you're all cozied up and you are ready to just hear me ramble on for the next 50 minutes or so, if you do manage to make it to the end of the video, that is, and you don't get bored of listening to me, etc, etc. Now, I'm going to make another disclaimer here as well, because it's just something that's popped into my head. I forgot to add any back garden activities, and if I'm remembering correctly, this is not the first time that I have forgotten to do this within a winter build. For some reason, it just I don't know what happens to me when I'm building in the winter. I just completely forget to add back garden activities, such as a barbecue and a seating area and stuff like that. I do add a telescope and the back is completely landscaped too. It's just that I didn't add any back garden activities. So it's all fenced in as well. So if you do download this house, then I would recommend that you add a few outdoor activities there. I think the thing for me is that specifically in winter, your Sims want to spend as much time inside as possible, unless they're like building a snowman or they're making snow angels, for example. So maybe that's one of the reasons that I just completely like forget about back gardens in winter builds. So I'm just making that disclaimer, and I am making an apology as well, because yeah, that's not good, but it's okay. Like, you could just add like a barbecue, some seats, like whatever you want, like a swing set, or you know, monkey bars, whatever floats your boat. But you can see that we do start working on the landscaping here. Now, one thing to note as well, I think I changed, yes. So like there's, where we're placing this tree now, there's like a bay window here provisionally. I was kind of set on keeping that there. But for some reason, when I was taking my quote unquote test screenshots, which I'll typically do if, like when I'm building a house, I'll do it just to make sure that I am actually loving what I'm building. Does that make sense? So I've said this before on the channel, but like I'll be building something, and then the worst thing for me would be to like, I'll do everything, I'll do the interior, and then I'll get to the exterior, try and take the screenshots, and then go, oh no, I hate this. And I've just spent hours and hours and hours building this, and I don't even like it. So I'll take like test screenshots and then edit them a little bit just to see if it's something that's still worth building. It basically, this is actually, I think, my second or third attempt at a winter build. Obviously, I haven't actually done any winter builds prior to this on the channel for this year, but I'm meaning like off camera. This is like my third. I don't think it's second. I think it's my third attempt at a Christmas build. Obviously, I didn't film any of that stuff, or I did, sorry, and then I didn't actually like what I was putting together. I had this idea in my mind of just like this really Christmassy big family house, which I'll typically build every year, to be honest, but I'll obviously do different things every year. So like something like this, like the shape, I don't think it's really a shape that I've explored too much on the channel. I think that the issue is when you build as much as I do, I think that there are going to be times where you sort of see a build of mine and you think, oh, that looks a little bit familiar. Have you built something like that previously? And there's every chance that I have done because I have built hundreds and hundreds of things in The Sims 4, so there's every chance that I have done something similar to this, but it felt fresh to me, so I suppose that's a good thing. Now, I'm going to make another disclaimer here because it did take me quite a long time to pick out the Christmas decorations for the exterior of this house. Initially, I was thinking that I wanted it to be like head to toe dripping with festive decorations. And then I was like, I don't want it to look tacky or anything like that. So I was trying to find a really like good and nice balance between, you know, something not super subtle that you can't really tell it's a Christmas house, and then not something that's too over the top where I'm like, oh my eyes are hurting. So I think I found a really good balance between the two in the end, but it did take me quite a bit of time to sort of try and work out what sort of items I wanted to use, if I wanted to go like really obvious Christmas colours with the red and green and everything like that. So it took me a little bit of time. I did, I believe, keep most of it within the footage, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, we've already moved onto the back of the house. Now, looking back at this footage, it actually took me quite a while to build the exterior, but that is to be expected, I suppose, because it's not a small house. I would still class this as like a big house. I don't think it's medium size. It's definitely not small. I would say this is on the larger sort of side, in my humble opinion. Obviously, there are people maybe watching this that wouldn't agree with that. But like 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, office, playroom, garage, like it's got a lot of things going on. And you can fit up to, I think, 7 Sims in this house too, plus a family pet, so either a cat or a dog. I had in mind a dog. That's probably because I've got 2 dogs of my own in real life, so maybe I'm a little bit biased. But yeah, you can have like a full household under this roof, which I love doing. I love sitting down and just letting myself just like build something big, and then I'll always get onto the interior and then I'll lay it out, I'll floor plan it, and then I'll go, oh wow, there's quite a few rooms that I'm going to need to decorate here. But it's a good job that I did have that, because I had the best time genuinely building and decorating this house. It helped me get into the festive spirit. It's definitely been helping my anxiety a little bit, which has been a little bit all over the place recently. So it was just really nice for my brain to just kind of enjoy doing something that I adore doing. So I'm really hoping that that's coming across in not only the video but within the house as well. I think it's pretty obvious that I had a good time building this particular house. But yeah, you can just see like we're just carrying on some of the landscaping to the back of the property as well, just trying to replicate what we've already done at the front. And there are certain trees in The Sims, most of the trees to be fair, look so pretty when they're covered in snow. Like, oh, I'm so obsessed. So there are certain trees, like some of the pine trees are just like chef's kiss, stunning with snow on. It's almost like, I mean, pine trees for me, like, they don't look strange without snow on, obviously, but they were, in my opinion, they were made to have snow on them. They just look so magical. They almost don't look real, you know, if that makes sense. It probably doesn't. But yeah, that's pretty much the back garden as it stays. So it is fenced in. We do have a telescope. It is landscaped. It's just that, like I was explaining at the beginning, there are no activities apart from the telescope, obviously, for your Sims to do or partake in. So again, apologies for that. But we have moved onto the inside, and this is where we attempt to start floor planning this chunky build. She a chunky one. I'm not sorry. You know, I felt like I wanted to try and like maybe ease myself into a build after a couple of weeks away, but clearly I was just like, no, if we're gonna do this, we're gonna go all in. So you will notice that there are no small rooms in this house. Every single room is a very good size, even down to the bathrooms, minus the nursery, because I did decide to make quite a small bedroom upstairs, but I did turn that into a nursery. So probably a good time to talk about the family dynamic while we're talking about a nursery as to who I imagined living here and who I sort of designed this house for. So I designed this house for two parents, their twin daughters, their newborn baby, well, newborn/infant, and then I also imagined that perhaps the grandparents are staying over for the holidays and they're actually in the guest bedroom downstairs. And then, as I was explaining at the beginning as well, they do have a dog as well. So plenty of room for activities, plenty of room for a lot of different types of Sims in this house. So very exciting. Now we have started working on the living room. I knew that I wanted to go for more of like a neutral, muted sort of tone within the interior of this house. Obviously I did use this base game wooden flooring. It feels like it's been a while since I've used it, and it is one of my favorite wooden floorings in the game. I just think it's perfect because I think you can use it for a lot of different situations, but I knew that I wanted to use it for this particular house. Also, if you heard my throat gargle just now, no you didn't, I've just taken a sip of water off camera, so I'm so sorry. But yeah, really love how this living room came together. Sorry, it is a huge room. It is huge. I sort of focused on this area here, sort of building everything around the fireplace, adding the Christmas tree, of course, all the Christmas decorations. And then I got everything really nice. And then it's almost like I'd completely just forgotten about the space behind that sofa. So that was really funny. So when I zoomed out, I was like, oh no, there's so much space behind this sofa. What am I going to do with it? So what I end up doing is I end up adding a few bookcases. Like there's another little seating area that your Sims can enjoy. They can just sit and read a book. And then I do add a colouring table, activity table for the kids to sort of like delve into as well. So I just tried to make it a room that made sense but also didn't feel sparsely decorated, because it is so big. It's very easy to like make rooms in The Sims and then not decorate them quite enough, and then to me, they always look a little bit strange. It's like the space doesn't look intentional then. So I wanted the space to look intentional. But I am really happy with the colours that we chose here. So we've gone for like a light baby powder blue, and then with hints of yellow, and then obviously the cream as well. The wooden flooring, I think, helps warm everything up. I did place some presents and then like a teddy by the tree as well. I don't know why I do this. I do this with a lot of my Christmas builds, but I'll always put this little teddy, well, I say a little teddy, I did size it down. It's a toy that your child Sims can hug and interact with. I always add that next to the Christmas trees in my Christmas builds. I'm not sure why I do it. I'm really not sure. Like obviously the kids know that it's a teddy bear because it's not even been wrapped. Like, so it's a bit of a strange one, but I just think it looks really cute. So, you know, it doesn't matter. It's just something that I do. But anyway, I love these like hanging cards across the fireplace. This wall-mounted TV as well. Oh, so stunning. I think we got this as part of like an event that took place. Was it last year or was it the year before even? It could have even been the year before. It could have been 23. I'm not entirely sure, but I was like, okay, this is so perfect for this house. And because we are going a little bit over the top with the Christmas decorations, like not too much, but we're putting some Christmas decorations down. That's the whole point of this build, right? But I didn't go nuts. I really didn't. I was quite proud of myself, really. I've done Christmas builds in the past where it looks like Santa's grotto gone wrong. I didn't want that to be the case for this house. Like there's no Christmas decorations at all upstairs. You know, I think if you have the energy and the capacity to decorate like bedrooms, like even bathrooms for Christmas or for any holiday, I applaud you, genuinely applaud you, because when I'm decorating for, you know, whether it's Halloween or for Christmas or whatever, typically we will just focus on like the main areas of the house, so like the living room, the kitchen. That's pretty much it. Like maybe the hallway has some bits in it, but really other than that, I don't do it. I know there are people that do it, but I think probably the majority of people just focus on like the main living spaces. So that is what I did with this house, and I like how it looks, one, and two, it definitely took the pressure off me when I moved on to the upper floor. I was like, oh, I don't need to decorate this like head to toe with Christmas decorations, which was just a bonus, and it helped me get a little bit less stressy about it. So yeah, you can see the main living areas come together really nicely. It's looking very festive. I did try and match the cards like that are hanging from the fireplace with like the blue tinges that the room has. So we've gone for like more of the blue sort of Christmas cards, which I thought was quite a nice idea. And then this is where like I had to just take a breather for about half an hour, and I really had to have a long hard think about what I wanted to do with this space here. But here we are, we're adding the bookcases, and it's really important for me, you know, as a builder to add as many items as possible in my Sims houses to allow your Sims to obviously be able to build their skills. And so they've got plenty to do in the house. It's nothing worse than like getting a house and it looks great, but like there's not much to do. So I really try and sort of think, okay, what would your Sims like to do? They like to read. Are there toys for the kids? Is there a family computer, or is there a computer? Do we have laptops, tablets, like just anything and everything? I just try and get in that gameplay mindset as much as I can when I'm building. But yeah, I love this little seating area that we added here. I believe the sort of placement of that armchair on the left stops the Sims' ability to access that sort of third bookcase. I didn't really think that was too much of an issue because obviously you've got access to the other two bookcases. So I was like, okay, I think that's fine. I don't think that's a problem at all. We put some little throw cushions on here because, oh, why the heck not? I also move the infant playmat as well. I just think it made a little bit more sense to have it over in that little seating area. So maybe the parents can both be sat on those chairs, and then they can be like, you know, watching over the infant, doing tummy time or doing whatever they want to be doing on that mat. And then we do add a toy box, and then the colouring table, the activity table, sorry. And then I do add like this sort of over the archway. We've got the Christmas ribbons with the green I thought that looked really good as well. We threw a little rug under the activity table as well because it was just, I don't know, it was looking like it just needed one. I'm not entirely sure why my brain does that with rugs. It's like it sees a bare wall space and it's like, I gotta put a rug down. Or, you know, I see an empty corner, I've got to put a plant down there. Or like there's an empty wall, oh quick, put a painting on there. It's just, I don't know if it's just a me thing, but anyway, the living room is now done and we then move on to the kitchen. I really enjoy this kitchen, and I didn't actually think I would say this about this kitchen because it's what is classed as a galley kitchen, even though we've got like this sort of island in the middle. But I didn't want to cover up those big, beautiful windows at the bottom of the room. So I was like, okay, let's do something a little bit different here. Let's try and make a galley kitchen work. We've gone for slightly darker woods in this room, which I was a little bit nervous about in terms of like how would they look and how would that flow between the kitchen and the living room. But actually, I think it looks okay. I really do think it looks all right. So I was quite pleased with it, to be honest. But these base game cabinets and counters, oh, chef's kiss again. Like, they're so good. I would love them to add more like items to the base game, like just more stuff. We need more clocks, you know, that was definitely something that I found within this build. We need more clocks. We need more like standing photo frames that can just go on a side table, for example. I think we could do with some more plants in the base game as well. Like, there's a lot of stuff. Rugs is another one. Like, we need more rugs in the base game. So much stuff that they could add, and I'm hoping like maybe next year they will. We'll have to see. But you can see that we add a little bit of clutter onto the counters here. I did make sure that one of the counters was left free. I can't remember if I included that in the footage or not, because obviously at this point you can see that all of the counters are pretty much cluttered up. So I didn't want you Sims to have to like get food out of the fridge and then go all the way onto the other side of the kitchen to prepare the food. So like that just didn't make any sense to me. I used quite a few items from the kitchen clutter kit, because if I've got a kitchen like this where I've got quite a lot of space to fill, that's a really good pack to sort of, you know, use just for like little nicks and knacks that you put around your kitchen. So I'm waiting for them to release like a living room clutter kit and a bedroom clutter kit, because we've got like bathroom clutter, we've got kitchen clutter. I'm like waiting for like laundry room clutter and whatever else. Obviously I'm joking, but I'm waiting for it. And then I do decide to add, I was like, oh yeah, we need to be decorating for Christmas here. So I do decide to add like some holly on the island, as well as some candles, and then this Christmas tree as well. I think that looks really good, but I can't remember, do I keep those candles there? Or yeah, no, I do. I thought I took them off because I was like, it just looks a little bit weird. And then I was like, okay, I remember that we've got the candles with the holly. So I put them on either side, and then I think it was when I was decorating the office, I believe, I found like these little red ribbons that you put on the counters, so I ended up putting them on there as well. And then we've got like the cookie cutter thing on the island too. I thought that was cute. That's from the kitchen clutter kit. Wow, what a mouthful. But yeah, so we do have a pet bowl in here as well, because as I was saying, and this is the third time I'll have mentioned it, his family has a dog. Look, if you don't have pets, or you are not wanting your Sims to have these particular Sims to have a pet, just remove the food bowl. That's really all I've added for the dog. Obviously, if you have a cat, then you'll need to add a litter tray and a scratching post, etc. But there's plenty of room in this build to add those things if you would like to. That's the kitchen now done, and then we move on to this downstairs bathroom / laundry room. It was a huge room. When I was floor planning this, I knew that this was going to be a big room, and I knew that I was going to turn it into a laundry room / bathroom. I've done it many times when I've been caught with a room of this size. I think it works really well, and it just means that your Sims have got like, again, more activities. You know, you can wash your clothes, you can dry your clothes. I do end up adding as well a vacuum cleaner, but I think I might do that off camera. So again, just like thinking, okay, well, what can you Sims do in this house? You know, like I in real life really like cleaning and keeping my house nice, so I enjoy vacuuming. So maybe you do too, and maybe you like your Sims to like you try and play that out with your Sims as well. I don't know, like I know when I play, I like to get my Sims to vacuum. So, but if you don't have that kit, you're not missing out on anything. It's just going to be missing the vacuum cleaner. It's no big deal. I did add a wreath in here though. Because again, I was forgetting that I was decorating for Christmas. So, and then I just put like this little rug down here as well. But I thought that was really cute. It's just like little bits, you know, like that you can enjoy for the festive season in this house. So that's that room done. And then we move on to the guest bedroom, the downstairs bedroom. So this is where I mean, look, if you don't want to play out the storyline that the grandparents are coming over, this could just be a spare room. This could be a teen room if you wanted it to be. I didn't overly decorate it because in my head it was a guest bedroom, and I feel like with guest bedrooms you don't really clutter them up, because obviously when people come to stay they want space for their items, and then obviously when you've got to clean it up afterwards it's just easier. The less items the better. So that's what I was thinking with this room, and I sort of really wanted to make this different from the rest of the rooms in the house that do have that sort of cluttered family friendly element to them. So again, it's a huge room. Like these rooms are so big. I think I could have maybe added like an extra room down here somehow. It's just that I really liked how the floor plan sort of flowed, and I like the fact that the rooms are bigger, because whilst decorating bigger rooms is a bit more of a challenge, I'm much more comfortable decorating smaller rooms. For gameplay, it's fantastic to have bigger size rooms, because it just means that your Sims have a little bit more space to navigate around, a little bit more space to turn and do whatever they need to do. So yeah, anyway. We also add some bookcases in here. I did add a guitar in here. I'm not really sure why. I also had a guitar in the garage, so perhaps one of the parents is super into like guitars and stuff like that, so we do have a couple of guitars around the house. So I thought that's maybe a nice idea. I do add some ribbons to the windows, and then we do have a wreath as well, but I think I'd change up the placement of everything, I think nearer the end of the footage of this particular room, because I was looking at it and I was thinking, just looks a little bit weird, like those windows have ribbons and then this window has a wreath. It just doesn't look quite right. So I was just about to say, I think I've forgotten to add like a chest of drawers or a wardrobe, but I didn't. It's right there under the window. I was just gonna say, how are your Sims going to like get dressed? And then I remembered the laundry basket, because whenever I add a washer and a dryer, it's like a 50-50 chance that I'm even going to remember to add laundry baskets in each of the bedrooms. Typically I'll forget, so I'm actually really pleased with myself. I actually remembered in this build. So that's the downstairs bedroom done, and then we move on to the office/playroom. I have been really enjoying adding playrooms to builds recently. I did a huge autumnal house just a couple of months ago on the channel, and that house had a dedicated playroom. However, we did have a bit more space in this particular room in this house, so I thought, well, you know, maybe one of the parents works from home and they don't mind sharing the space with their kids. So this is a multi-purpose room. We all know I love a multi-purpose room. Okay, like this is not a secret. We love a multi-purpose room, especially when it sort of involves, you know, your Sims just being able to spend more of that family time together. It's really nice. And I can't imagine, look, if this parent is on like a Zoom call or a Teams call, you know, the kids are not going to be in here making a mess and, you know, screaming and shouting. They've got their bedrooms for that. They can go up to the bedroom. They can go into the living room even, because we've got some activities in there. So just to keep that sense of realism, just to keep that awareness, you know, if your Sim is on a call, the kids are not going to be in here making a noise. We've got like a little seat here as well. Maybe they would just want to grab a coffee, read a book, and just come in here and chill out. It's a lovely room. It's really nice. And this is where we start adding all of the kids' toys, etc. I didn't want anything I say I didn't want anything to match in here, but it kind of does and it kind of doesn't. It's kind of like something that I tend to do and then say in my builds. I'll be like, oh yeah, it kind of matches, but it kind of doesn't. It's actually really funny. And another thing that I do add in here is the imaginary friend, because I have not added an imaginary friend to any of my builds ever. So if you do have the Adventure Awaits pack, then you can add the imaginary friend and have the imaginary friend in this particular house. I don't know what, like in terms of gameplay, I know that your Sims can, there's a lot that your Sims can do with them, specifically child Sims, but like that's as far as my knowledge goes with the imaginary friends. So yeah, if you don't have Adventure Awaits, you're not missing out on a imaginary friend, I wouldn't have thought. So it just means that little doll next to the yellow cow, is that supposed to be a cow? I'm not entirely sure, like whatever, it just won't be there. And then obviously we've got an abundance of rugs, because if your kids Sims are playing on the ground, specifically a wooden ground, you're gonna want to like cushion their little knees and their feet. So we do add a plethora of rugs over there, which, are we surprised? No, we are not. But I love adding rugs to builds, okay? Especially in like kids spaces. I wouldn't really, yeah, I do it when I put carpet in kids' rooms as well. I'm not even gonna lie. Like I have carpet in my house. Most of our house is carpet, and we still have rugs down, because I don't make the rules. Just because you've got carpet doesn't mean you can't enjoy rugs. Anyway, I don't know how I got onto that, but this room is very nearly done, and I really love how that looked. I love the fact that your Sims can just go in there and do whatever they need to do. And then I was debating whether or not to keep any of this footage in, because I was all over the shop with with these spaces. I could not decide what I wanted to put down. I was, honestly, my brain, I think at this point, it wasn't frazzled at all, because I was still really enjoying building this. It's just that I don't know. I did my usual RachelPedd, like, okay, we've got the hallway and then we've got another hallway at the back of the stairs. Like, I don't know what it is. I really don't know what it is about this, but I do this all the time. It's like a classic thing that I do. It's quite funny actually, but yeah, you're gonna have to sit through me like just being the most indecisive person on the planet with what to put here. Like even down to the swatches and colours of stuff, I was just like, oh my god, this is too hard. Anyway, I think eventually we got to a good place. I used a few items from the Grange Mudroom kit, which I spoke about this, I think, when I built that big autumnal house with the playroom. I did say how much I enjoyed that kit. It's just really handy for a mudroom, obviously for an entrance as well. It's a good kit. And all the items are really nice too. So, and this is where I found the ribbons, and I was like, oh yes, we can put those ribbons on the kitchen island, and I just think it'll just add a little bit of something extra, which by the way it did. Love that. So that's the first entryway done, and then we do the back one here. This is another one that I really struggled with, because I was like, I want to put some stuff down here. I wasn't really sure what though. So I ummed and ahed, and I was like, okay, well, I think it'd be good for the dog to have a toy box. So we do add a toy box. Then I was like, would you have towels at the back door? So, maybe the dog's been playing in the garden where there's absolutely nothing to do. And, they come in and they're wet. So you've got to like dry them down. And then I was like, yeah, that's great, but those towels don't look very good. So I ended up removing them, I think. And then I was like, okay, we need an armchair here, because an armchair makes sense, because maybe the kids need to sit down to put the wellies on to go and play outside. So yeah, I overthought everything. I know, not like me, right? But I overthought every single element of this little space. And I was just like, then I thought, well, I want a picture frame there, but I don't know what picture frame I want to use. And I got really stressed out. I did. And then I think I eventually just went, right, okay, that's it. So yeah, remove the towels, and then just put up like a little sort of situation on the wall, like with coats and jackets and stuff like that. And then we move on to the garage, which I completely forgot about, not only during this voiceover, but I almost forgot about it entirely while I was decorating this house. I finished the inside and I was like, yes. And then I zoomed out and I was like, oh, the garage is there. Yep, got to decorate the garage. So this has quite a few items from the restoration workshop kit. Again, just thinking of stuff that your Sims can actually do here. So maybe one of the parents is super into tinkering and they use this space as a little bit of a getaway. Like, everyone needs a getaway from their family. Like, everyone needs that like safe space that they could just go to and just relax and unwind. Like, everybody needs that. This is that parents. So there's a lot of like trinkety, like I would class them as not what you would expect to see in a garage, essentially. Like, there's a lot of bits in here and I love decorating garages. So anytime I have an opportunity to build a garage, I will absolutely do that. And definitely with the restoration workshop kit, it does make it a lot easier. And then pair that with the basement treasures kit too. It's just like, yeah, it's a match made in heaven as far as I'm concerned. There's a foosball table in here as well, and then, you know, we've got like an old oven that needs to be restored, so your Sims can do that if they want to. We've got some storage in here as well. We've got darts, we've got a guitar, there's a chair here as well, like a lazy boy chair, which I absolutely love. It's well loved. It's probably been passed down the family like in throughout generations, and it's just like made its way to this house now. I really like that idea. And then it's just like adding some trinkety bits, more clutter. Like, what else would you find in a garage? You know, it's like storage containers, and then like an old trophy set that perhaps this parent or one of the parents won in when they were in high school and stuff like that. So yeah, I had a good time with this room. I usually do with garages, so this was no exception. And then I do add a vent as well, because that part of the wall was looking very bare, and I thought you'd maybe have a vent in a garage. That makes sense. And then we move on to the main bedroom on the upper floor. Again, a very big room, and I did decide the colour scheme off camera because it often takes me quite a while to sort of settle on a wall colour that I actually like. And I didn't just want to use the same wallpaper over and over and over and over again in this house. I know I've done that in the past, and I will continue to do it, but I think with this house I wanted to use some different variations so that like visually the house looked a little bit more interesting. And I do love this 4-poster bed. I think this is it from City Living? I'm not entirely sure. I'm saying that very tentatively. It could be from City Living. I don't know, but it's beautiful. I love it. And then I do add some built-in wardrobes here, which, do you know what, really helped with the size of the room, the sheer size of this room. I was just like, oh my gosh, it's huge. But just adding them in there, I was like, oh, hi, like all that space is gone. Great. Now it's more of like a normal sized bedroom. And not only does it look great, just like, yes, those built-in wardrobes are so good. We've also got a seating area in this bedroom. I was initially going to add a fireplace, and I'm actually a bit upset that I didn't. So maybe that could be something that you could change if you wanted to, if you do download this house, of course. And if I were to do it again, I would consider adding a fireplace. I think here, like even if it was just a small one, you know, like still keep the seating area, but just add like a small fireplace. I think that would have been so cozy. And then it would have made sense as well, because on the exterior there are 2 chimneys. So it would have made a lot of sense. And then over here we've just got some more storage, a little bit more clutter just on top of here as well. I add candles to pretty much every room in a build too. I don't know if anyone's picked up on that. No one's ever commented on it, but it's funny because every single room in my house in real life has a candle. Like the bathrooms, the hallway, our bedroom, my office, the living room, the kitchen, like there are candles everywhere. I love a good candle. They're one of the small things in life that I really, really enjoy and appreciate. I know that sounds really silly, but you get me a good candle, like you probably have my heart forever. Like it's just, I don't know what it is. It's just like, I just love them so much. But yeah, this room is very nearly done, and then we do decorate the ensuite as part of this like one bit of footage. So because I was like, I'm on a roll here, I'm on a roll, let's decorate this giant ensuite, because it is giant. But with a house of this size and with a bedroom of this size, I think you would kind of expect the ensuite to be on the bigger side. At least I think so anyway. So it did give me an opportunity to use some counters, the same counters that we used in the kitchen, because I was like, how else am I going to fill up this space, really? and then I forgot to add a toilet roll holder in the downstairs bathroom. I couldn't believe it. So I was like, okay, yep, got to do that. So I do end up adding a toilet roll holder. And then let's not forget the laundry baskets, of course, because we do have a washer and a dryer in this build. And as I was saying, this is going to be really embarrassing if I've forgotten to put a laundry basket in any of these bedrooms. I know the nursery doesn't have one, but I don't think the nursery necessarily needs one, but the girls' bedroom definitely does. So I think I've ticked all the boxes there. I'm quite proud of myself. But yeah, this bathroom was a little bit of a challenge to try and like fill the space. And now that I'm looking back, I'm not sure about these sinks, and I'm not really sure why. I find it quite difficult to find sinks that look like they should belong in a bathroom and that they don't belong in a kitchen. Does anybody else have that problem, or is it just me? But yeah, I did settle on these ones and I think that they're okay. And then I do add some like potties. I think do I add them off camera? Or do I include them in? No, I do. No. I add them. I also add one to the downstairs bathroom as well. So obviously if you are potty training the youngest child, they definitely come in handy. Like in every bathroom there is one, just in case obviously you need to use it. This is the main bathroom, quote unquote, but I think this is the bathroom that really the girls only use. So it just made sense for me to kind of decorate this more for them. So you'll see like pops of pink and just brighter colours in here compared to the rest of the bathrooms. And I love doing that with bathrooms that I know that kids primarily just have access to, because I can just imagine like, and I mean, we grew up with more than one bathroom in our house, but I don't ever recall asking my mum if we could like decorate the bathroom, you know, a certain way, or if we could like start adding pops of colour here and there. But I just think it's a really nice idea in The Sims, and it really just helps tell that story when you're looking at the house. You're like, oh yeah, this is really nice because this is obviously the bathroom that the girls use. And then we decorate the nursery. So this is very, very small room. This is an extremely small room, but I think as a nursery, it works quite well. So I'm not sure if this particular child was planned, because the girls, I imagine they're quite young children, so perhaps they were planned. But yeah, I went for like a really neutral color scheme in here, so this can be for whatever gender you would like. And it's such a small space. I was a little bit, I know that what I'm about to say is going to contradict something that I said at this point. I'm not entirely sure when I said it, but I was like, oh, decorating small spaces is so much easier than decorating big spaces, like huge spaces. But with this room, because you need to add so much for an infant or, you know, whatever, I had a bit of a harder time than I care to admit. But I think you can kind of see that in the footage, like my frustration a little bit. One thing I will say, there's a drawing that I did put on this wall here, like with the flowers and the grass. I thought one of the sisters had drawn that for their baby sibling, and I just thought that was the sweetest idea in the entire world. So yeah, really cute idea. But that's that room done, and then we move on to the final room of the build. This is the girls' bedroom. We do have a bunk bed situation going on in here. This room has a lot of stuff in it. This room, I think it's nice to look at, it is, but it's quite colourful too. But where I felt I needed to kind of mute the colours down a little bit, I definitely tried to, because the thing is with me, I can get really carried away with a kid's room specifically, and I'll look at it at the end and I'll go, whoa, my eyes are burning, they are hurting looking at this room, and I didn't want that to be the case with this bedroom. But I will say I got the opportunity to use that new little bunny light from one of the recent events. Oh my goodness, it's the cutest little light I think I've ever seen in my entire, like, look at it. Can we all just look at it? Because I would like a light like that in real life, and I'm an adult. Like, it's the sweetest thing ever. Like, oh, event rewards, I'm all for them, to be honest. I think they're really good. I think they give us enough time, I think. You know, obviously some people's opinion is going to differ to mine. I think typically they give us enough time to partake in the reward stuff. But yeah, that light, I was so happy with it. I didn't put the magnet board in here though, because I'm going to be honest, it's just something that I just forget that we have it. I don't really know why. And I don't know where it is in the catalogue. Genuinely, I would have to filter by event rewards to know where the item was. Which is really funny. But yeah, this room's a very strange shape. It's a very strange shape. So I just tried to add items where I felt they made sense. Looking back, I'm not sure I would really change anything per se. But it's a cute room. I think if, you know, growing up, if I had a room like this, I would have been like, oh, this is really cute. I had cute rooms growing up, by the way. Not that my mum would be listening right now, but mum, if you are listening, I loved my childhood bedrooms, genuinely. But yeah, like this is so fun and there's so much stuff in here. Like they've got a penguin TV. Are you kidding me? There's a penguin TV. Like it's so cute. There's a little space to sit by the window. The only thing I didn't put in here was a desk for them to do the homework on. But I don't think that's too much of a problem. They can just do it like at the kitchen island. They could even do it in the downstairs office if they wanted to. So I didn't really feel like too bad about that. But we do add a dollhouse here as well. That was quite important to me to add. I'm not really sure why. I think because the dollhouses are so big. I mean, this is a base game one. That's actually one of the smaller ones. For the selection that we have, this is one of the smaller ones. But I like putting them in there when I've got the opportunity because they are so big. So I was like, okay, well, yeah, we'll just put a dollhouse. But anyway, I'm going to stop ranting on at you, and if you've made it this far in the video, thank you so much, but I'm going to wrap up. So if you would like to download this build, it is available to download from the gallery right now. My origin ID is RachelPedd. Tray files, as always, are linked down in the description box just below. You can get them from SimFileShare. But thank you so much, everyone, for joining me here today. If you've got any other ideas for any festive or Christmas builds, please drop me some comments down below, and if any take my fancy, I will definitely add them to my build list. But thank you so much for joining me here today, everyone. You all take care, and I will see you all again very, very soon. Bye.